back, you guys. Having fun?
I am.
He has 2 down, 1 to go.
Yep.
Yep. Now I'm gonna be honest here, Robbie. This is probably the one that's a little tougher.
Okay.
You guys can do it. It's easy once you understand what you're doing. But accuracy, it's super important on this one. Yeah. So I'm gonna kind of walk you through it. So the very first thing we're gonna do. So this is the pinwheel block.
Mm-hmm.
You've already cut out your 10 by 10 inch squares. And this is the easy part. So you are just going to sew all the way around. The way I like to do it, and I'll be honest, is I just sew a 1/4 inch, stop, cut my thread, sew a 1/4 inch, and do that all the way around. That way I'm just really good and accurate. So that's what I'm going to have you do. You're going to go all the way around this thing with a nice 1/4 inch seam.
Alrighty.
And pinning is your best friend on this one. It just holds everything in place. You're going to bring it over back to the table. We're going to do the new step. Okay, look at that. Perfect. All the way. It lays really nice and flat. So the next step we're going to do is you're going to actually draw your lines. So from corner to corner, and this is where I want you to go corner of your little stitch there to the corner of that stitch. Now you could go ahead and just cut these, but I like to draw them first just to make sure I have it even. And if you're drawing them and you're using scissors, you want to make sure this lays nice and flat. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do for that. I'm going to do it from that corner to that corner. And I'm going to do it right from that corner there. See those little stitches there to the stitches right there. Make sure both sides, draw your line. Now, if I was using a rotary cutter, I could just use my rotary cutter and my ruler, and I know it's going to lay really nice and flat. But if I'm using scissors, that's probably not going to lay really flat when I'm picking it up, because I've got 2 pieces here. Yeah. So if you're using scissors to do this, I want you guys to grab pins, and I want you to pin right here. That is going to hold your triangles in place when you cut it. Okay? And I'll just show you what we're doing here. And then we're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut right on that line. Okay? This is where it's really important. Leave it lay nice and flat and just cut right on those lines. Okay? If you pick it up, you're going to twist that fabric. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. So those pins are going to help, but you're still going to lay it really nice. And then once we get that cut all the way to the end, staying right on that line, then we can take those pins out. Okay, open those up. See what happens. It's the craziest thing. Got your half square triangles. Look at that.
There you go.
There's many ways to make half square triangles, and that's what this is called, is a half. In fact, I think, if I'm not mistaken, let me check. That is in our vocabulary.
Oh.
Look, right here we have half square triangle. So it is a square quilt block made from 2 right angle triangles. Now, there's lots of ways you can make these. I found this is the easiest way.
It's the best way.
It is, as long as you're accurate. So once again, what we're going to do is we're going to take those over, and I want to press those to the dark.
To the dark.
Remember when I was talking about ironing versus pressing, Robbie? If you iron this, you're going to stretch that triangle. Okay? Because you have cut against the grain.
Yeah.
It gives. It will bend. So what you're going to do is you're going to take that over. You're going to gently hold it down, and you're just going to iron up and down. Okay? So I'm going to give you all those, and I want you to iron towards the blue.
Alrighty.
On those. I want you to press towards the blue, I should say, not iron. There you go. Perfect.
We're laying it down.
Awesome. And he's going to do that with all of those. And then we're going to lay out our pinwheel block. Good job. And what we want to remember is we're going to make 3 pinwheel blocks, and they're each going to be different. So you're going to use different fabrics in these. You cut those 6 10 by 10 squares first. You got that out of the way, the very first thing you cut. Okay. So on your block, you have these funny little pieces hanging out here. When you go to put them together, those kind of get in the way.
Yeah.
You want to know what those are called?
I do.
Dog ears.
Oh.
Do they look like dog ears?
Maybe.
I've always thought that was kind of the funniest thing. Whoever thought of that, I have no idea. But we're going to cut those off. Now, I don't want you to cut your block. We don't want you to cut any of the good fabric, but you're just going to snip those off right there on the edge. So in your instructions, you have a diagram. This is what we want it to look like when you lay that out.
Alrighty.
Yay! Looks like a pinwheel.
Looks like it.
They're all nice and even. So now you're going to do just like you did in your other blocks of sewing them together. You're going to flip this one over to this one. Mm-hmm. And if you notice, this is another trick in your pressing. If you did a good job pressing, once again, these are going to nest right into each other there. Oh, so if you touch that, you can feel they're nice and flat. There's no lump there. So go ahead and pin that one and sew those together. Those lines should nest right up into each other. Good job. Okay, just sew that seam, and we'll do that with the next block down too. All right, so let's lay those out and see how it looks. Perfect. Awesome job. So if you turn them over and look, they have a tendency to know which way they want to fall. Yeah. That's the way you're going to press them. Okay, that's going to make it much easier. So this one obviously wants to go one way. This one wants to go a different way. Yeah. So take them like this to the pressing table, press them, and then we'll put them together. Alrighty. I like to do this from the back, just so I know which way it wants to go. So I think that one's going to go the other. Is that going to go the other way? Let's make sure when we match them up here. We know this one's going to go this way. It's going to go to the dark of there. So let's press that one, and then let's see which way the other one wants to go. Just because we want to get this right, okay? Yeah. Okay, so we know that one wants to go that way. This one's going to want to go towards the dark on that, okay? Alrighty. And then you can bring them back over here, lay it out, make sure it's right, and then we'll pin those and sew those together. Awesome. Okay, pressed right, looks good. Yeah. Let's pin them together and sew that one together. Finish that block. That one went together really nice and fast. There you go. Awesome. Okay, just going to sew that seam, and we have our third block finished. This is where I always slow down a little bit. So if you look, your seam on the bottom is going the wrong way. So just lift that up. There you go. You just pushed it under. Perfect. You just want those to lay really nice when you go across that. Okay. How's it look? Let's see. Got it? Think? Good?
Big reveal.
You did it. Pinwheel.
There you go.
Awesome. Okay, that's your 3 blocks.
Sweet.
Okay, now what? What do you think we have to do next?
Gotta put them all together.
Gotta put them together.